The Underground Railroad stands as a profound testament to resistance, ingenuity, and interracial cooperation in the face of one of America's gravest injustices. A complex, living network shaped by geography, community, and the relentless pursuit of freedom, its story is woven from the threads of daring escapes, clandestine codes, and the steadfast resolve of people, both black and white, who risked everything to challenge the institution of slavery. While the Underground Railroad spanned much of the United States, its story in North Carolina is distinguished by unique landscapes, diverse communities, and a remarkable tradition of organized resistance. By the late 18th century, enslaved people constituted about a quarter of North Carolina's population, totaling nearly 100,000. In the ensuing decades, approximately 140,000 were forcibly relocated through the domestic slave trade, underscoring both the extent of bondage and the urgency of escape. The Underground Railroad emerged as a clandestine network shaped by North Carolina's dense forests, swamps, and rivers, as well as by the support of free black communities and Quaker abolitionists, fostering organized resistance and collective defiance. The Great Dismal Swamp served as a crucial refuge for freedom seekers. Its dense, forbidding landscape allowed maroon communities to build shelters, cultivate food, and survive by hunting and fishing. They leveraged the swamp's inaccessibility to sustain lives of autonomy and resistance. The Underground Railroad relied on secrecy and a sophisticated system of coded communication. Terms like stations, conductors, and passengers disguised its purpose. Conductors used physical markers including stakes, stones, or nails in trees to direct travelers. Quilts with patterns such as log cabin or drunkard's path signaled safe houses or conveyed warnings. Songs like Follow the Drinking Gourd encoded directions using celestial cues, guiding freedom seekers toward the North Star, and ultimately to liberty. Guilford County, North Carolina, demonstrated a level of activism that was rare in the South. Among the best documented escape routes was the Kanawha route, which began in the Quaker community of New Garden, now part of Guilford College, and led northwest toward Ohio and Indiana. The 200-acre New Garden Woods was a key refuge where freedom seekers gathered and hid. Levi Coffin, later known as the president of the Underground Railroad, grew up in this community and described in his memoirs how he would bring food to runaways hiding in the thickets, listening to their stories of hardship and hope. Halifax County, with its large free black population, became another critical node. This strategic location was further enhanced by the presence of the Roanoke River, which provided both a physical barrier and a means of escape. Freedom seekers could follow the river to the coast and find sympathetic ship captains willing to ferry them northward. In Jamestown, the Mendenhall Homeplace preserves the South's only authenticated false bottom wagon, ingeniously designed to hide people beneath a layer of cargo. Richard Mendenhall, a Quaker and founding member of the Manumission Society of North Carolina, used legal subterfuge and devices like the wagon to assist escapes. Quakers formed the backbone of North Carolina's abolitionist movement, guided by their belief in the inner light, that divinity exists within everyone. In 1808, the North Carolina Yearly Meeting became the legal owner of enslaved people to shield them from being sold further south, sometimes escorting them north as part of the Overground Railroad. The Manumission Society, established in 1816, flourished until legal and social pressures forced its disbandment in 1834, though many Quakers continued their anti-slavery efforts underground. Free black communities and maroon colonies also played vital roles, offering shelter, information, and forged documents. These communities were typically self-sufficient, growing food and trading with sympathetic outsiders. The word maroon came to symbolize the unbroken spirit and fierce independence of those who refused to submit to enslavement. Levi Coffin, born in Guilford County in 1798, became perhaps the most famous conductor of the Underground Railroad. With his wife Catherine, he helped an estimated 3,000 people escape slavery, first in North Carolina and later in Indiana and Ohio. Coffin's memoirs are invaluable, describing both the logistics of escape and the emotional toll on those involved. Vestal Coffin, Levi's cousin, was instrumental in organizing community efforts in New Garden, inaugurating the system of convoys that escorted freedom seekers northward. The earliest documented case of Underground Railroad activity in North Carolina dates to 1819 with the escape of John Dimery. Dimery was quickly moved from New Garden to Indiana, setting a precedent for others to follow. Benjamin Benson, a free black man kidnapped and sold into slavery in Guilford County, successfully sued for his freedom, highlighting both the precariousness of black liberty and the potential for legal resistance. The Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 made it a federal crime to assist runaway slaves and required their return even from free states. This intensified the risks for both fugitives and their allies. North Carolina's own laws, including the establishment of county-level slave patrols, created organized militias to monitor and control the enslaved population. In response, abolitionists developed sophisticated methods of resistance, including forging freedom papers. North Carolina's Underground Railroad legacy endures through historical sites like the Halifax Underground Railroad Trail and Mendenhall Homeplace, educational programs, and local organizations. Recognized by the National Park Service's Network to Freedom, these sites, along with oral histories and documents, keep this vital history accessible and relevant. The Underground Railroad was more than a series of escape routes. It was a movement grounded in courage, solidarity, and a relentless pursuit of justice. Its enduring lessons remind us that even in the darkest times, hope and collective action can light the way toward freedom. In early 2025, the removal of references to Harriet Tubman, the term enslaved, and the Fugitive Slave Act from the National Park Service's Underground Railroad webpage, although later restored, starkly illustrated the dangers of erasing or sanitizing history. By replacing these truths with vague references to American ideals of liberty and freedom, the revision diminished the realities of slavery and the achievements of Black Americans. Omitting difficult truths distorts our understanding and weakens our ability to confront injustice. Honest engagement with history, even its most painful chapters, is essential for a just society. The legacy of freedom seekers and the ongoing struggle to preserve their full story demand vigilance. Only by protecting historical truth can we ensure that future generations learn from both the courage and the injustices of the past.